You know what, guys? Anybody can do an intro.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Words Are Hard podcast.
Words are hard.
Words are always hard. That joke never gets old.
No.
So
we couldn't have picked a more fitting name.
I mean, just taking a look. Obviously, we've changed formats again because it's what we do. We are anything but inconsistent. Consistent. We're anything but
consistent in our inconsistency.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true.
Right, that's right. So, but I mean, we're not moving furniture. Fuck that. So.
This couch is here to stay.
Yeah,
until
this is...
I don't know. I feel odd being on the end now, though.
Until we get shut down.
It's uncomfortable.
we get
But whatever. Down. Yeah, you're not...
my left side is cold.
Yeah, whatever. No, so... we did want to change the format up a little bit. We used to sort of discuss topics. We used to kind of bring these up. We used to come to the table with something. We have a randomizer. We're totally going to just bring up a topic and just talk about it at random and see how things go. So what we need from you guys is to go down in that comment section and let us know the topics that you would like to hear. We'll put them into the randomizer. Might be on the next episode. Might be on the episode after that. If it's not, go ahead and yell at us, because we can put it in there twice if you like, if you're really adamant about it, and it'll just increase the odds that your topic will get on the show. And
I think we're coming up on a milestone too, right?
That's right. We're coming up on 400 subscribers here, you guys. So at 400 subscribers, we're not sure how we're going to do it yet. More details to come, but we will be doing a draw for 2 of our t-shirts from the shirt store for free for one of our subscribers. So make sure to share this with your friends, because the sooner we hit that milestone,
Wait.
the sooner it's going to happen.
Clarifying question. Is it 2 shirts for one person?
Yes.
Or are we doing 2 draws so that 2 people get shirts?
No, we've got 2 designs. I don't have to sit here and pick between the 2. You're going to get one of each design.
There you go, people.
You just got to give us sizes, colors, address, name of your firstborn child, simple stuff.
Your credit card number.
That's right. And it's totally free.
Yeah, totally.
So that being said, let's get right into it. Let's take a look at what our topic's going to be today.
So we don't know what this is.
So today, it looks like we're going to be talking about some more customer service stories, you guys. We've all worked customer service. We talked about this a little bit recently, actually, about different sort of customer service stories. So let's get right into it. I mean, do you guys have any that stick out in your mind of some negative experiences that you guys have had with customers? Or
It's funny you mention that, because I think it was today I was looking at on this day on Facebook, and I posted something about it.
Is that what you're looking for, that you were making all that noise over there a second ago?
My bad.
now, Greg, I know that when I first started ever working with you in a call center, you were our supervisor, actually. So, I mean, you could only have some amazing stories here.
Yeah.
Greg was a bit of a robot at our old job.
I kind of was.
When I first started there, I fucking hated you.
And I think that's why I was good at that job, though, was because that's what they needed.
You had to be heartless when you're arguing with somebody who just had all their money taken out of their account by, certain
Then there was the
industries.
guy that thought that everyone was spying on him, so he put, tinfoil on everything. Do you remember that guy?
I will talk about him if you want.
Yeah.
So just as a heads up, this was over at an internet service provider, a very niche internet service provider. So there were
not naming any names.
No, but there were some misunderstandings in terms of how the equipment is used, because it is, again, a niche sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's an important service for people. So touchy subject.
So I do have one on this day on Facebook.
Oh God!
Last year. So basically, from what I have here, okay. So from time to time, obviously, I'll say to the person that's on the line, "Okay, I'm gonna log into your modem to take a look at things," and that's normally the phrasing that I use. So I said,
yeah.
So this guy, after I said that I was gonna take a look at his modem, he said, "Don't mind the pornography." I'm like, "Excuse me?" He's like, oh, I still have porn up on my screen from last night. I'm dumbfounded at this point. I'm like,
He thinks.
do you think I can see your screen? He's like, you mean you can't see what I'm doing? There's like this weird awkward silence. Right? I'm like,
You're not watching me?
I'm like, no. He's
Big
like,
brother, hello?
So he's like, I just said that for no reason then.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
Yeah, now
And
I'm
then
aware
there's-
that you were watching porn last
It's
night.
like another like awkward silence, and like it's just like, where do we go from here?
See, at that point, you should have asked him, well, since I can't see it, what kind of porn was it?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. There was another situation when I was on when I was still in the customer care side of things, right? I guess now I talk to field techs, but when I was on the customer service side of things, there was one guy who, after we got the internet back up and running, I'm like, all right, go ahead and test a video for me. Go to YouTube. And he's like, oh, I already have a video up, and he hits refresh on his screen, and all you heard was like the greatest porn star moan you could ever think of. And he's like, oh, sorry about that. I'm like, don't worry, turn it up.
Yep.
What
are we gonna do?
It's a video.
I'm like, it's a video.
Right.
It's working. And I'm like, at that point, I was like so numb to it.
I think I remember you telling me a story when you were talking to somebody who was helping out to get the internet back up and running for their kid, and they're using their kid's computer, and it says, and they're like, oh, the browser says, do you want to restore pages that were previously closed? And you're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And he clicks on it, and he's like, I have to go. I have to go talk to my son.
with my son.
That's right. One of the things that sort of prompted me on this topic to
Again?
put it in is more recently. I work for a company that does provide call center software. We had somebody who had come to me the other night and said, oh, when I run this report, it shows different numbers than this report. Why? And it was very snarky, very upset about why the numbers were different on these two reports. When it
I
should be
actually
showing
hear that a lot in my job.
when it should be showing the exact same number of calls. Like, it's like, well, if I run it here, it shows I have 1,000 calls, and when I run it here, it shows that we took 3,000 calls. Well, which is it? Why can't you be consistent? And I take a look at one report, and I was like, all right, 3,000 calls. All right, this report's running for 3 days. Cool, let's take a look at the other one. 1,000 calls. This report's being run for 1 day.
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
There you
sir,
go.
you've been 1 day to 3 days, so
Apples to oranges.
that's right. I'm not sure what kind of a system error you might be talking about there.
No. He expects that whether it's 1 day or 3 days, it should be the same number of calls
That's right.
over that period of time.
That's right. I mean, but your story kind of reminded me. I used to work at Staples in the tech repair center. I was standing behind the desk, and a customer came in, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I can't." He's like, "I can't get my son's hockey emails; they won't load." And I'm standing back there with my assistant manager, Ashley. She was younger, but she had been there for so long. And I was fairly new, and I was like, "Okay, let me take a look." And I'm sitting here troubleshooting an email. Like an Outlook.
It's an email client, right?
Yeah, a client. And I'm sitting there going through it, and I'm clicking through it and stuff. And after about a half an hour of clicking through this thing, Ashley goes, all right, I need to go take a look at whatever inventory stuff. And she leaves, and he leans in and he goes, oh, thank God. He goes, okay, I can't load whatever blah, blah, blah porn. It won't load at all. And I was just like, you've had me troubleshooting your son's hockey email for 30 minutes, and there's no issues just because a woman's standing there.
That's hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? I could have gotten the paperwork myself to write it up and put it into the shop properly. But at that point, I called Ashley back over, and I was just like, listen, I need the paperwork for this. We just can't load videos. YouTube seems to load, but adult sites don't, so we just got to
So you
load
wound
this
up
up.
telling her anyway?
Yeah, because I had her fill it out, and I looked at it and I was like, sorry, I'm new here. I'm not sure how to fill it out. Anyway, yeah, couldn't load his porn.
It's a terrible thing, though.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, but his son's hockey emails.
We're fine.
Oh, fuck yeah, they were fine. I sent so many test emails to his hockey coach, and now he's got to go to the hockey coach and be like, yeah, sorry, I couldn't load my porn.
Yeah.
So I had to have the guy at Staples send you a bunch of test emails.
I was troubleshooting my porn. I used you as a cover.
Yeah. And I mean, that wasn't the only one. I remember one time, like, they were like, "Oh, my disk drive is making a weird sound," and it wouldn't eject the CD, and we had to manually do it. And when we got the CD out, there it is. It was the biggest male butt porn that I've ever seen in my life. And when we take a disc out of the disk drive, you have to tape it to the top of the laptop. So when you return it, everything's taken out, but it's placed on top. And my manager was like, we have to put like a sticky note over it or something. So like for like 3 days in the tech shop, there was a sticky note with a guy's face over it, like just taking it. I don't know.
I have a couple more stories, unless you want to chime in there, Greg.
Are you gonna bring up the guy who's being spied on?
Do you want to?
I want you to, yeah.
Okay.
Is that that German guy?
I didn't
Ontario,
actually talk to him, but I had to talk to a lot of agents that had talked to
Is
him.
that the guy with
So-
the cows that died?
Yes.
So I spoke with this man. Technically, I still can't say his name. I know who he is, but if you can Google it,
He was in the news.
Yep.
he was in the news,
And he has his own
Here-
YouTube videos, I believe.
He does. So here in New Brunswick, there's a farmer.
Surprised he got those uploaded.
Calm down. So there's a farmer that lives out here in New Brunswick somewhere, and I don't know exactly what happened to him.
This isn't a big province. You're getting a little specific.
He may-
I gotta
I was
be
just gonna
honest
say.
with you.
He may, in fact, be in an insane asylum now. I may be just pulling that out of my ass, but I specifically remember something about him in an insane asylum. But he had over 300 dead cattle over the course of a year and a half, and his excuse was that the company that I was working for and the veterinarians of New Brunswick were killing his cattle with death rays.
I believe that he said on trial, I was reading that he said that the RCMP were in on it too.
Yeah.
Which is why but none of those details came to light. He said that it was certain companies that were doing this.
Yeah, because it was a bunch of them. It
Yeah,
wasn't just-
because he also said that it was the airlines who were
Yeah.
like sprinkling it over because he was right in a flight path.
Yeah.
Who the fuck would have thought, right? Anyway, and then the vets came in. They said no, they're all dying due to malnutrition, and he was just like, well, the vets are involved.
Yeah,
And then the
they're part
RCMP
of the
came in, and the
conspiracy.
RCMP were like, we seized the cows, and they were all dying due to malnutrition. He's like, well, fuck, the cops are there too.
yeah, the cops are in on it.
Everyone who was against him got
And
thrown under.
he called in and I spoke with him. Well, I didn't speak with him. I said, "Thank you for calling. My name is Alex. How can I stop killing my fucking cows?"
And I was there that night.
What?
I'm like, I tried to say.
Was I there, or was this before I came in?
It's hard to say. I can't. Even
I don't remember.
I might have been off. I
'Cause
don't know.
I'm like, I tried to say excuse me, and then he went off again, and he's like, "Don't play dumb. I've had 5 cows die this week." He's like super pissed, right? It was just like
Yeah.
the strangest thing.
Yep.
They
You really shouldn't have killed his cows,
He has
though, Alex.
he has videos online where he has taken pictures, long, slow, panning pictures of the ditch by his cow fields that have weeds in them, and he's claiming up and down that these weeds are being planted by the government to kill his cows.
So I mean, there's tinfoil hat, and then there's someone who actually needs psychiatric help.
There's tinfoil hat, and then there's tinfoil brain.
Yeah, well, well, there's that, and then he's harming other things.
Oh yeah,
As a result of this whole thing.
It's not a good situation, but no, he was something else. Another situation that I had. This was not at the same place, but when I was doing my practicum for the college I went to, I was working in a PC repair shop. Now, if you've never gone to a PC repair shop, you're probably smart. And I just got a friend to do it instead of getting charged $80 for a virus cleanup, which realistically would just install Malwarebytes, have it run 3 or 4 times, and then until it stops pulling up, and then give you your computer, charge you $80 for it. That's what we're doing at this one spot. So my very first day, which was weird in and of itself, but the very first day, the very first guy that came in, he comes in, he's like, "Hey, I have Matt's computer again." And the shop, the guy that was there, because there were a few other people that were late, the only guy that was there was like, "All right, we'll put it in back, we'll get to it." And I remember a guy named Brandon who worked there finally came in, he walks to the back of the shop to where all the computers were. He's like, "Fuck, Matt's computer's here again." Apparently, this guy named they call him Marijuana Matt. Because one day he came in. It's this big old like Windows 98 tower. Big white.
Oh god, I can only imagine.
Like beast of a
I used
thing.
to have one of those.
I still have one somewhere. I know.
I love that computer.
He
Compact
opened this-
Presario.
They opened this thing up one day, and there was this big baggie of weed that was still in the computer.
Did they give it back to him?
I think. I never really asked.
I would have just assumed that was the payment.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you're right.
It was a
So-
bribe for fixing his computer.
Basically, he would bring this computer in every single week to get all the porn viruses taken off his computer because he just watched so much porn. The computer became unusable after a week.
And he sold enough weed that he could get it repaired every
That's
time.
Basically.
probably what it was.
So, when I got to look at it, right, I open it up. Thing is just caked with resin. It's just it was disgusting.
I've looked at a computer from a smoker's place
Yep. Oh, no.
where their fan seized and they put a desk fan up against it and took the panel off, so all their cigarette smoke was being pulled in from the
just
desk.
in the ash,
Oh,
yeah. It's just not good. So that week that I was there was enough. Brandon, the guy that was working on it, was like, "No, we're not fixing this fucking thing. We're gonna sell him a fucking computer and say stop coming in here. Stop giving me $80 to fucking run through this every week. This is dumb."
well, yeah. I mean, if he was spending $80 every week, he could have bought a new computer.
Literally,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's crazy.
Pretty bad.
We had one guy at Staples who came in with his big old Dell tower, and he said, "I just moved here from Ireland." He wasn't Irish or anything. He's from here. He moved back from Ireland. This worked when I had it out there, and now it won't work. So I bring it into the back. I take a look at a few basic things, and then I look at the power supply and go, "Oh yeah, voltages are different in the UK." And then I flick the orange switch, and it works. So I go back out, and I was just like, "Yeah, the voltages are wrong." But I did a general diagnostic to look at it. I found the issue in the back, and yeah, so that'll be $50.
Just
And
to
he's
flip a switch.
freaking out, $50 to flip a switch, just like you said. And I'm just like, he's just like, "Why the fuck would I pay you $50 to go like this?" And I was like, "Sir, because you don't have the common sense to go like this for free."
Did you really say that to him?
Well, he was screaming at
That's
us.
awesome.
We were in the middle of kicking him out anyway.
That's awesome.
That's fair, right?
Did he pay the $50?
Well, there was another.
He didn't, did he?
My manager said, like, if you leave the store now, we're not going to charge you, but you're never coming back, type of thing, because he was making a scene. He was a lot more words and a lot more colorful words than what I just gave him in that story,
Yeah.
trust me. And plus, he just came from Ireland, so, I mean, he was probably just
He's just
speaking
angry,
the local dialect,
basically. Yeah.
drunk.
Well, it's kind of funny that you say that because there was this German woman that brought her computer in, and she could barely tell us what the issue was. I'm like, I was like,
She could probably tell you in German.
I was using Google Translate to try to figure out what the issue was. Problem was that I was leaving the week after, so they had to deal with her after the fact. So basically, the computer wouldn't power on all the time, and it was just literally the power switch. The cable was rotting for some reason. Anyway, so we got the computer on.
Germans.
Like,
Those Germans and their rotted cables.
we shorted the 2 pins to get the computer to start. Like, okay, so it's just the cable. It's no big deal. Started up. Everything's in German. I think she also said she had a virus issue, if I'm remembering correctly. So we're trying to navigate through things. Like, how the fuck do we? I don't understand.
Yeah,
That's just-
the mouse
that's just-
moves backwards. You're like, how? What?
Why?
Everything's backwards.
That's
in
as
German.
bad as my current job. I had to work with someone out of Brazil at one point.
Portuguese.
Yeah, and it
Yep.
was like all in Portuguese. I'm like, how am I supposed to troubleshoot this application when I don't understand a word that's written?
Oh god.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
I mean, I had gotten a call the other night for somebody who's having call quality issues with their call center in Japan,
Oh.
and I'm like, all right, let's validate and see if the
You
call
had
quality
no
sounds
idea.
bad. So I bring up the call recording, and I listen to it, and all of a sudden I'm just like, I can't speak Japanese. And it's just two people talking back and forth, and I was just like, all right, so obviously we're getting audio from two people. I was like, can they hear each other? Fuck if I know. Or when we buy new when you buy a new phone number from a carrier, you have to submit like a form. You have to fill out a form with an address and stuff to prove that you're from there, or that your company resides there. So they sent us. It was for South Korea, and they sent us a form in PDF, and it was written in Korean, and we're like, we can't submit that because we have to write it down on our form, and we can't speak or write Korean in order to submit it, and you can't copy off of a scanned PDF.
Yeah, no.
And they're like, well, we only have it in Korean, so you're gonna have to deal with that. And I'm like, well, we can't deal with that.
Yeah.
Languages are hard.
Words are hard.
Yeah.
Words quite literally were hard in that one.
Worldwide. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you're from. Words are hard. I don't know. I guess all we have is really tech customer service stories.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to work in a bakery back in high school, and we had the cookies. We had chocolate chip cookies, and the kids could come up and take a cookie, and everything was fine. And we had this old crazy woman. She had like no teeth. She wasn't foreign, but she sounded like she had an accent because she couldn't talk. And she used to come in, and she's like, how are the cookies? And I'm like, oh, I don't fucking know, Arnold, get out of here. And she's like, how are the cookies? No, and she's like, are they hard or are they soft? And I was like, I don't know. She's like, I can't eat them because of my teeth. And I was like, all right, sorry.
Maybe you had too many cookies.
And I was like, well, do you want to try one? And I gave her one of the cookies out of like the kids thing, and she looked at it, and I'm like waiting for her to take a bite, and she throws it on the floor, and it shatters everywhere, and she goes, no, too hard, and then walks away. And I was like, for fuck's sakes, lady. Bakeries were weird. I remember there's this woman, she wasn't a live-in caregiver. She would show up to help out this guy, but she was kind of having an affair with him. She was one of those share too much customers. And she used to come in, and she would get two eclairs every single day to bring one to him and one for her. And then one day she was like, because we used to write on cakes, we did custom writing, she's like, can you write on them? And I was like, sure. And it started off with like mine and yours, and then fuck me, like it came up months later, and I was just like, I don't think I could be doing this. I'm like 15. Like and I'm writing on these things, and like instead of putting them in the clear containers, I'm wasting like cake boxes because I don't want people at the cash to see that I'm writing fuck me on an eclair.
Oh, young Mike was shy.
Yeah. At 15 years old, I'm not gonna write fuck me on a pastry and send it across the place I work.
So
especially because my mom worked there with me. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mike's mom.
she's like ringing it through. She's like, oh, well, what'd you get written on that?
She was a supervisor. Yeah. Well, I had one guy who made...
She probably would have immediately assumed that you wrote it, that the customer didn't ask for it. It started. Well,
that's what
out.
I didn't want.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one guy who asked my boss, he's like, can I come back there and write on it myself? She's like, sure. And he did all these squiggles, and it was this big mess. And she goes, what did you write? And he goes, it's two people fucking. And she goes, oh... And then just puts the lid on it, like gives it back to
There
him.
you go.
I was like, oh fuck, this job. I don't know. Lessons learned?
That working at a bakery is an interesting job, apparently.
If you wear enough tinfoil, you can prove that the government is killing your cattle.
That's right. Lessons learned. If you have any technical issues with your episode, be sure to call into the Words Are Hard podcast, and then realize we don't have a number.
Thanks for watching that episode of the Words Are Hard podcast, guys. Don't forget to subscribe down below so you can get entered into a draw eventually, once we hit 400 subscribers, to get 2 shirts. Be a good time. You can click on the subscribe button right here. To check out previous videos, you can click between Mike and Greg. And just don't forget to like and share this so that we can get closer to that 400 sub goal and get yourself some sweet swag. But as always, thanks for watching.